By today's standard, it wouldn't even qualify because there were no on-set, brawls. There was no even like harsh words exchanged. It was all behind the scenes. It was all in a trailer. It was nothing that anybody or any of our guest stars ever noticed or noted.
That's an apt description of the feud between the stars of Charmed. It's become public today, but it was so private during filming that no one's sure what to believe today. The show focused on the Halliwell sisters, a coven of sister witches whose powers draw from the power of three. Instead of joining as a trio, the cast has split into two sides. On one end is Alyssa Milano, and the other end is the rest of the cast. Keep watching as Alyssa Milano and her Charmed co-stars tell their side of the story. Shannen magically disappears. Shannen Doherty and her character, Prue Halliwell, suddenly left after 3 seasons. She was killed off in the season finale titled All Hell Breaks Loose. Rose McGowan was brought in to replace her. The world was shocked by the character change, but they weren't the only ones unhappy. She often described her dissatisfaction with the work environment in interviews. She told Entertainment Tonight in 2001, quote, "I want to work with actors who really, really care and that want to be there every single day. I don't want to work with people who bitch about their job and complain about it and say they hate it or anything else." The press focused on one particularly heated relationship. It was one between Shannen and Alyssa Milano, who acknowledged the rift. She admitted they were, quote, very different people. She also said there was a lot of anger on set, which she hoped she didn't contribute to. Holly Marie Combs stepped in to defend Shannen, who she became close friends with. She didn't feel that her character's send-off was handled properly. She thinks Rue should have had more chance for a graceful exit. Alyssa calls Charmed a high school. Alyssa got to talk about working on the set 12 years later. She spoke about it on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen in 2013. She said she didn't know why Shannen left the show, but that their 3 years together weren't always a tight sisterhood. She compared it to what she imagined a public high school. Alyssa had never been to a high school, but could imagine what it was like from films and TV. That included cliques, rumors, infighting, and competition to be the most popular. All these things proved to be true behind the scenes. A new feud sparked by METOO. A new feud emerged between Alyssa and Rose McGowan, who played Paige Matthews on the show. Rose accused Harvey Weinstein of rape. She tweeted that seeing Alyssa support his wife, Georgie Chapman, made her want to vomit. In August of 2020, Rose found something else to criticize her about. She noted her support of Joe Biden despite sexual assault allegations made against him by former Senate staffer Tara Reid. She also made a tweet criticizing the entire Democratic Party for doing nothing to help people. Alyssa responded the best way she could to defend herself and her political leanings. She made a thread listing all the party's achievements since 1920. The conversation went back to the METOO movement. Rose accused Alyssa of stealing the original hashtag from activist Tarana Burke. Rose claimed there was a toxic work environment on Charmed. She said it was so bad she cried every time they got renewed. She accused Alyssa of throwing fits about not having a high enough salary despite earning $250,000 a week. Alyssa blocked Rose on Twitter, but that wasn't the end of it. She went on the Wendy Williams show in October of 2020 to talk about the internet tirades. She revealed how Rose had lashed the original feuds off until it isn't. Tragedy eventually brought Alyssa and Shannen back together, at least for a time. Shannen's cancer returned in 2020, leading Alyssa to say she was holding her, quote, tight in her heart. Alyssa told the press at the time,
"I would say we are cordial. I could take responsibility for a lot of our tension that we had, feeling that I was in competition rather than it being that sisterhood that the show is so much about. And I have some guilt about my part in that."
That friendliness only lasted until December of 2023. Shannen and Holly, who always seemed to be able to get along and fight together, got on the Let's Be Clear podcast. They accused Alyssa of creating a weird divide between the two of them. Shannen felt Alyssa was trying to split up her and Holly, even during her most vulnerable times. She tried to get into the hospital to see her, but said,
Alyssa and her mom, they were blocking people from seeing you, and how a sort of family had swooped in and caused this sort of weird divide between the two of us that then continued throughout season 2, where I think I cried every single night of season 2.
Then Holly dropped a bombshell on the world. She claimed Alyssa was directly responsible for getting Shannen fired. Holly asked the producers to explain themselves. They said,
and he said, but we've been backed into this corner. He said, we're basically in a position where it's one or the other. We were told that it's her or me, and Alyssa has threatened to sue us for a hostile workplace environment.
Retreading in denial. Alyssa denied any claims that she tried to get anyone fired in the 2024 Who's the Boss panel at MegaCon Orlando. She apologized for any hurt she may have caused her co-stars, but said their claims were untrue. She said everything that actually happened was documented. There was a mediator there to try to work out the entire issue of Shannen getting fired, but she was told Shannen and Holly wouldn't be meeting with him. Alyssa also seemed to express a desire to put the feud to bed, saying, quote, I don't know one other show that has had the success that Charmed had, where the cast still speaks ill of the experience a quarter of a century later. This is 15 movies and 13 TV shows ago for me. This was 11 years before my 15-year marriage and 13 years before having my first child. This was so long ago that any retelling of these stories from anyone is just revisionist history. She tried to add to the credibility of her claims online. She posted on Instagram that she didn't have the power to get anyone fired. Shannen stood by her version of the story and supported them at a separate MegaCon panel. She became emotional as she said she was simply telling the truth. Alyssa had called it revisionist history, but she insisted it wasn't. She claimed it was just the truth Alyssa didn't want to get out in public. Her co-stars backed her up. Holly posted on Instagram that Alyssa had the power to get anyone fired. She said she even had the power to stop the mediator brought in to help out during the time when Shannen was getting fired. What does the rest of the world think? The original show may be decades old and been rebooted, but it hasn't been forgotten. These recent panel discussions have got the world thinking about the Charmed feud again. A few fans and former crew members have started taking sides. When they do, it always either seems to be Team Alyssa or Team everyone else. Charmed producer Krista Vernoff thinks there was a great deal of bullying on set, but he doesn't think Alyssa was the one doing it. One fan had an opposite opinion. They tweeted Alyssa had always been the villain. They also said they were glad someone was speaking the truth about it. Another longtime fan, Kristen Mander, is also on Shannen's side. She agrees that most of the blame may be put on the wrong person by the media, even if they all contributed. Kristen also admits the feuding is hurting the legacy of the show. It's a sad situation where, after so many years, women who work together can't sit at a panel and have a cordial conversation where they don't bash each other. It's even sadder when the show's main theme has always been sisterhood and working together. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of Charmed? Let us know in the comments section below.